Sir, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much.
How are you?
Asante sana.
Very good. You're looking strong.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
I have my small team here. You know our former Prime Minister? Yes. Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, Minister for Foreign Affairs?
Yes, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MJR YouTube channel. I remember talking about Raila Odinga and William Ruto's trip to China and the reason why Ruto would pick Raila Odinga to accompany him to China. And we know that Ruto was to attend at the China-Africa Summit. And what I want to talk about today is the outcome of what I discussed on my analysis a day ago. And just as I've said, that the only reason why Ruto would carry along with Raila Odinga was just to give Raila Odinga a platform to sell his agenda to Africans, heads of state and government who will attend the summit in Beijing. I even saw the current chair of AUC, Musa Faki Mahamat, attending the forum. And today, Wednesday, Raila Odinga and William Ruto met a host of Africans, heads of state. And among the leaders whom they got opportunity to talk to is Paul Kagame of Rwanda. They met, they talked. One of the things that I know they might have mentioned or talked about is the Raila Odinga's candidacy. They also met the president of Zambia, Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, whom they discussed a range of issues. They also met and talked to the president of Chad, Mahamat Idi. They talked bilateral issues. They also met the president of Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta. They also met the president of Togo, President Faure Esso Ziman. They also met the president of Guinea-Bissau, Umar Mbalo. So today alone, Raila and Ruto managed to meet 6 heads of state and government. And from this list of heads of state whom Raila and Ruto met, only one is from East African region, Paul Kagame. Already, Raila had talked to Samia Suluhu Hassan, who was here when he was launching his campaign, or the state was launching his campaign. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was here. President Salva Kiir Mayardit of South Sudan was here. The candidate of Somalia stepped down a few months ago in favor of Raila Odinga. And the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, had also pledged his support. Raila has spoken to the Nigerian president, Tinubu, So it is a matter of wait and see. But they are making effort in his own capacity and through the joint secretariat that was formed between his team and the government to steer his campaigns. According to the principal secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Korir Sing'oei, said that Raila Odinga will attend the banquet in China alongside heads of states and government. I did not see the Djibouti candidate attending this forum, among other candidates who are out to fight for this seat with Raila Amolo Odinga. The most important thing is the number of states Raila Odinga will manage to convince that he is the right man to take Africa forward and to take over from Musa Faki Mahamat. The biggest role which AUC chairperson do is to be the diplomat, to represent Africa in different forums. There are already a lot of expectation that waits Raila Odinga, God willing, if he wins the seat. The issue of African passport, AU passport, is one of the things that many people will not wait to see it coming to reality. The United States of Africa, which the founding fathers of this continent had talked about, is also an issue that must be addressed. The issue of peace amongst African countries, because Africa has become a war zone. There are wars in almost every part in Africa. In West Africa, there are wars. In Central Africa, there are wars. In East Africa, there are wars. South Africa, there are wars. And the poverty, how African can trade amongst the countries or amongst themselves. The infrastructure, there are so many road networks in Africa, like Trans-African highways, which needs to be reformed. We have railway lines. We have the problems with our airlines. We have problems with the common language, our natural resources, gold, bauxite, uranium, name them. Our agricultural produce, which are not processed in Africa and are transported as raw material to other parts of the world. So those are the key things that Raila Odinga will talk about. He must talk about the issue of democracy in Africa, because most of African countries are not stable politically. The issue of neo-colonialism, how are they going to help African states to overcome the issue of neo-colonialism? So Raila Odinga must have very strong points. And it is said that his campaign will be hinged on focal areas such as climate, agriculture, infrastructure, energy, technology, among other things. So we are going to see a very fierce campaign. A time is coming when the interviews will be televised, where all the candidates will speak to the continent and sell to Kenya, to Africans, their agenda, their manifestos, their dreams, what they intend to do when they get into AUC office. Because some of the things that were talked about as early as 1960s, 1962, 1963, and throughout in fact, for 60 years now. And lastly, the Agenda 2063. How are they going to implement it? How are they going to make Africa to look like a Silicon Valley? How are they going to ensure that by 2063 they have eradicated poverty, diseases like malaria that kills Africa? What are they going to do to improve the field of medicine, agriculture, industrialization in this fast-moving world of globalization? So those are the things that African candidates who want to vie for the AUC chairperson must address and address properly. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and may God bless you.